Ngày Quốc tế Thanh niên 2021 với chủ đề Sự tham gia của thanh niên, sức trẻ góp phần đạt được các mục tiêu phát triển bền vững. Luật Thanh niên sửa đổi của 2020 chính là công cụ để hỗ trợ cho các bạn trẻ phát triển, hành động và đóng góp vào việc đạt được các mục tiêu phát triển bền vững. Ngày 12 tháng 8 này, hãy cùng H'Hen Niê tham gia vào sự kiện Ngày Quốc tế Thanh niên 2021 do Liên Hợp Quốc tại Việt Nam và Đoàn Thanh niên Cộng sản Hồ Chí Minh tổ chức. Đây chính là cơ hội để các bạn trẻ thanh niên chia sẻ câu chuyện của mình, truyền cảm hứng cho tất cả mọi người về một thế hệ trẻ hành động, đóng góp cho Tổ quốc ta. Ngày Quốc tế Thanh niên 2021 với chủ đề Sự tham gia của thanh niên, sức trẻ góp phần đạt được các mục tiêu phát triển bền vững. Luật Thanh niên sửa đổi của 2020 chính là công cụ để hỗ trợ cho các bạn trẻ phát triển, hành động và đóng góp vào việc đạt được các mục tiêu phát triển bền vững. Ngày 12 tháng 8 này, hãy cùng H'Hen Niê tham gia vào sự kiện Ngày Quốc tế Thanh niên 2021 do Liên Hợp Quốc tại Việt Nam và Đoàn Thanh niên Cộng sản Hồ Chí Minh tổ chức. Đây chính là cơ hội để các bạn trẻ thanh niên chia sẻ câu chuyện của mình, truyền cảm hứng cho tất cả mọi người về một thế hệ trẻ hành động, đóng góp cho Tổ quốc ta. Ngày Quốc tế Thanh niên 2021 với chủ đề Sự tham gia của thanh niên, sức trẻ góp phần đạt được các mục tiêu phát triển bền vững. Luật Thanh niên sửa đổi của 2020 chính là công cụ để hỗ trợ cho các bạn trẻ phát triển, hành động và đóng góp vào việc đạt được các mục tiêu phát triển bền vững. Ngày 12 tháng 8 này, hãy cùng H'Hen Niê tham gia vào sự kiện Ngày Quốc tế Thanh niên 2021 do Liên Hợp Quốc tại Việt Nam và Đoàn Thanh niên Cộng sản Hồ Chí Minh tổ chức. Đây chính là cơ hội để các bạn trẻ thanh niên chia sẻ câu chuyện của mình, truyền cảm hứng cho tất cả mọi người về một thế hệ trẻ hành động, đóng góp cho Tổ quốc ta. Ngày Quốc tế Thanh niên 2021 với chủ đề Sự tham gia của thanh niên, sức trẻ góp phần đạt được các mục tiêu phát triển bền vững. Luật Thanh niên sửa đổi của 2020 chính là công cụ để hỗ trợ cho các bạn trẻ phát triển, hành động và đóng góp vào việc đạt được các mục tiêu phát triển bền vững. Ngày 12 tháng 8 này, hãy cùng H'Hen Niê tham gia vào sự kiện Ngày Quốc tế Thanh niên 2021 do Liên Hợp Quốc tại Việt Nam và Đoàn Thanh niên Cộng sản Hồ Chí Minh tổ chức. Đây chính là cơ hội để các bạn trẻ thanh niên chia sẻ câu chuyện của mình, truyền cảm hứng cho tất cả mọi người về một thế hệ trẻ hành động, đóng góp cho Tổ quốc ta. Ngày Quốc tế Thanh niên 2021 với chủ đề Sự tham gia của thanh niên, sức trẻ góp phần đạt được các mục tiêu phát triển bền vững. Luật Thanh niên sửa đổi của 2020 chính là công cụ để hỗ trợ cho các bạn trẻ phát triển, hành động và đóng góp vào việc đạt được các mục tiêu phát triển bền vững. Ngày 12 tháng 8 này, hãy cùng H'Hen Niê tham gia vào sự kiện Ngày Quốc tế Thanh niên 2021 do Liên Hợp Quốc tại Việt Nam và Đoàn Thanh niên Cộng sản Hồ Chí Minh tổ chức. Đây chính là cơ hội để các bạn trẻ thanh niên chia sẻ câu chuyện của mình, truyền cảm hứng cho tất cả mọi người về một thế hệ trẻ hành động, đóng góp cho Tổ quốc ta. Ngày Quốc tế Thanh niên 2021 với chủ đề Sự tham gia của thanh niên, sức trẻ góp phần đạt được các mục tiêu phát triển bền vững. Luật Thanh niên sửa đổi của 2020 chính là công cụ để hỗ trợ cho các bạn trẻ phát triển, hành động và đóng góp vào việc đạt được các mục tiêu phát triển bền vững. Ngày 12 tháng 8 này, hãy cùng H'Hen Niê tham gia vào sự kiện Ngày Quốc tế Thanh niên 2021 do Liên Hợp Quốc tại Việt Nam và Đoàn Thanh niên Cộng sản Hồ Chí Minh tổ chức. Đây chính là cơ hội để các bạn trẻ thanh niên chia sẻ câu chuyện của mình, truyền cảm hứng cho tất cả mọi người về một thế hệ trẻ hành động, đóng góp cho Tổ quốc ta. Ngày Quốc tế Thanh niên 2021 với chủ đề Sự tham gia của thanh niên, sức trẻ góp phần đạt được các mục tiêu phát triển bền vững. Luật Thanh niên sửa đổi của 2020 chính là công cụ để hỗ trợ cho các bạn trẻ phát triển, hành động và đóng góp vào việc đạt được các mục tiêu phát triển bền vững. Ngày 12 tháng 8 này, hãy cùng H'Hen Niê
Ladies and gentlemen, a big welcome to all distinguished guests and young people to the Green One UN House, and a big welcome to those following the International Youth Day 2021 in Vietnam, and titled Youth Participation, the Power of Young People in SDG Achievements. The celebration today is organized by United Nations in Vietnam and the Ho Chi Minh Youth Unions, Communist Youth Union, is going to be live on Facebook page of the United Nations in Vietnam and the Facebook page of Trung ương Đoàn of the Central Youth Union and the YouTube channel of UNFPA Vietnam for those who want to follow in English. We are pleased to introduce the distinguished guests. Madam Naomi Kitahara, UNFPA representative to Vietnam and the chair of the UN thematic group on youth and adolescents. We're pleased to introduce Mr. Nguyễn Tường Lâm, secretary to the Communist Youth Union. Mr. Hoàng Quốc Long, Director of Departments of Youth Affairs of Ministries of Home Affairs, who will join us online on the fan page of the Youth Union. I'm pleased to introduce Madame Lương Thị Hải Anh, Deputy Director, Department of Youth Affairs of Ministry of Home Affairs. And once again, we are pleased to welcome the presence of representatives from ministries, from organizations, international NGOs, youth unions, members, and press agencies who are here and following us online. Because of the COVID-19 situation, we are unable to meet in person, but I believe that the ceremony today will be an important event that offers you unforgettable moments. Ladies and gentlemen, in 1999, at the resolution number 54, the UN General Assembly approved the recommendation by the World Conference of Youth Ministers at the Lisbon meeting in August 1998, declaring that the August 12 will be the International Youth Day, and since then, world leaders reaffirmed the roles of the youth in policy making at the local, national, regional, and international levels. And every year, the International Youth Day has been celebrated in many countries to bring the opportunity to honor and to share the role and actions of young people and to facilitate their meaningful contribution. And for that reason, we are here today to share and discuss the Youth Law 2020 of Vietnam and the contribution of young people towards a sustainable development and to make sure that nobody is left behind. To open the agenda today, I'm pleased to introduce Madam Naomi Kitahara, UNFPA representative to Vietnam and chair of the thematic group on youth and adolescent, to share her thoughts on today's ceremony. Please.
Mr. Nguyễn Tường Lâm, Secretary of the Ho Chi Minh Communist Youth Union, representatives from the Ministry of Home Affairs and Ho Chi Minh Communist Youth Union, young people who are participating in the celebration today in person and online, media colleagues, UN Vietnam staff. Good morning. Today, we are all gathered here at the Green One UN House in Hanoi to celebrate the International Youth Day 2021. As we are sitting here, physically and virtually, Vietnam, like most other countries, is making every effort to fight against the new wave of COVID-19 pandemic. Young people, like all others, have been greatly affected by COVID-19 since early 2020. Yet, every day, we heard stories of many young doctors and nurses saving the lives of those suffering from COVID-19, while across the country, many young people are helping their communities to deal with the pandemic, often in very innovative and creative ways. They are all our heroes. They contribute to the sustainable development in Vietnam, a country which puts a lot of importance on the participation and empowerment of young people. Today, the United Nations in Vietnam is very happy to join the Ho Chi Minh Communist Youth Union to celebrate the International Youth Day 2021 and amplify young people's voices, actions, initiatives, as well as their meaningful, universal, and equitable engagement in a process towards sustainable development goals. The theme for this year for Vietnam, therefore, is youth participation, the power of young people towards SDGs achievement. Dear young people, in 1999, in its Resolution 54-120, the United Nations General Assembly endorsed the recommendations made by the World Conference of Ministers of Youth, which took place in Lisbon from 8 to 12 August 1998, that the day 12 August be declared International Youth Day. Since then, world leaders have several times reaffirmed young people's unique and crucial role in policy-making and decision-making processes at local, national, regional, and international levels. With COVID-19, young people worldwide have faced challenges, but have also tapped into their creativity, innovation, and commitment to addressing emerging issues holistically and effectively, often using forms of political, economic, cultural, and social engagement and participation with online and offline methods. Vietnam is not an exception to this worldwide movement, and such engagement of young people in the process of achieving developmental goals is critical more than ever. Vietnam is now in the midst of a demographic transition where the country has the largest number of young people in its history. The result of the 2019 population and housing census shows that Vietnam recorded 20.4 million young people aged 10 to 24, which accounts for 21% of the total population. As such, Vietnam is in the demographic window of opportunity, which was identified in 2007 and is projected to last until 2041, indicating the presence of the demographic bonus, which can accelerate socioeconomic growth of the country if appropriate investment is made on young people. The United Nations in Vietnam acknowledges the efforts of the government in providing adolescents and youth with opportunities to design, participate in, and contribute to the socioeconomic development of the country. The approval of the revised youth law by the Vietnam's National Assembly during its 14th session in June 2020 is one of the greatest strides for Vietnam to ensure young people's roles, responsibilities, and rights in the national development process. The youth law explains young people's participation, states clear responsibilities of the government, the Vietnam National Youth Committee, and other organizations, and ensures the allocation of the state budget for the implementation of the youth law. Moreover, specific policies to support young people from ethnic minorities and those aged 16 to 18 were included in the policy provisions. However, according to the Ministry of Home Affairs report on Vietnamese youth 2015-2018, youth empowerment and participation in policy and decision-making processes are still limited. Nearly 40% of young people never participated in the processes linked to the development of policies related to youth. Celebrating the International Youth Day today is surely one of the many opportunities that are given to young people to participate in a development process in the most meaningful and constructive way. The United Nations in Vietnam will continue to support the government of Vietnam and young people in fully implementing the youth law, the youth strategy, and other related policies to ensure the issues of inclusion, particularly the inclusion of vulnerable young people, leaving no one behind. I wish you every success in today's celebration. Happy International Youth Day, Vietnam.
Xin được trân trọng cảm ơn những chia sẻ của bà Naomi Kitahara. Bài phát biểu của bà thì đã cho chúng ta hiểu thêm về ý nghĩa của Ngày Quốc tế Thanh niên, cũng như là tầm quan trọng của việc tạo ra cơ hội cho thanh niên chúng ta tham gia đóng góp nhiều hơn để đạt được những mục tiêu phát triển bền vững của Việt Nam ạ. Tiếp theo chương trình, xin được trân trọng kính mời ông Nguyễn Tường Lâm, Bí thư Ban chấp hành Trung ương Đoàn Thanh niên Cộng sản Hồ Chí Minh lên phát biểu. Xin được trân trọng kính mời.
Madam Naomi Kitahara, ladies and gentlemen, and
today, on behalf of the Ho Chi Minh Communist Youth Union Central Committee Secretariat, I would like to send my best wishes to all distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, and young people and students to attend our program today, and wish our program to succeed. Ladies and gentlemen, the law on youth revised has been adopted and passed by the NA, and recently the PM also signed to pass the strategy to develop Vietnamese youth period 2021-2030. They contain significant meanings, ensuring to implement legitimate rights of youth to have Vietnamese youth develop comprehensively with patriotism, well-educated, employment, being healthy, and containing life skills, building young people sources, and meeting the demand of the new era. In the recent time, the Ho Chi Minh Communist Youth Union has implemented many projects and movements to adapt to the new situation, and especially in the situation of the COVID-19, all levels of the Youth Union has adapted to the new contents of the guidance of the government and the real situation to adapt the method, for example, promoting the use of IT, social network, and digital platform, for example, to ensure the two targets to the economic development and pandemic control. And we have implemented many different contents and movements. For example, Thank You Vietnam, Million Meals 2021, to connect agricultural products to share the love and join hand to overcome the pandemic. These meaningful activities was highly estimated by the people. And in recent years, the organizations of the UN has cooperated with agencies of Vietnam to implement many works for Vietnamese youth. In this program, I would like to call the UN in Vietnam to continue to cooperate with Vietnamese agencies and also the Ho Chi Minh Communist Youth Union to implement activities to support Vietnamese youth, namely first to continue and promote the publicizing of the Law on Youth 2020. Secondly, to promote the cooperation among the youth agencies, focusing on educating the skills and knowledge to support the youth. Thirdly, to mobilize the participation of the youth to attend all the fields of life. And fourth, facilitate and create a favorable environment for young people to attend and to innovate. And last, I would like to, on behalf of the Ho Chi Minh Communist Youth Union, I would like to send my thanks to leaders of the ministries and agencies and UN agencies. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Nguyễn Tường Lâm, Secretary to the Communist Youth Union. His speech once again reaffirms the contribution of young people in the protection and development of the country. Ladies and gentlemen, in order to understand the responses and awareness of young people to the Youth Law and the revised Youth Law 2020, and with the aim of promoting the responsibility and rights of young people and helping Vietnam to achieve SDG, the United Nations in Vietnam launched a small survey. How this survey has been done and what are the key findings, please join us to listen to Đỗ Mỹ Linh in the following presentation. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Đỗ Mỹ Linh, who is the Digital Communication Officer of UNICEF Vietnam. And as Quỳnh has just shared with you, we launched surveys on the revised youth law by means of U-Report. I think you may be unfamiliar with the term U-Report, so let me introduce to you what U-Report means. U-Report is a UNICEF-based initiative as an online social monitoring tool. We send free text messages to surveys the thoughts of young people across the globe, and young people can raise their voice on key issues of interest so as to design a better world for themselves. And today across the world, 85 countries already launched their U-Reports, including Vietnam. As you can see, U-Report is the bridge that connects all young people in Vietnam to those in the world for them to share the issues of shared concerns, to ensure that their view reach stakeholders and encourage the actions and participation of youth. And I think we talk about the Industrial Revolution 4.0, so how we do that, how we collect the voices of young people online is very important. And if you're looking for a place to share your views and thoughts, then U-Report is the site for you. It's very simple. I think all of you here and those following us online, all of you have a smartphone, so could you please check out your smartphone and follow the instructions here to join U-Reports. Could you open your phone camera and then you can scan this QR code This is the QR code that can link to the U report text message, the messenger site. And when you can log into that site, please send us a text with the keyword tham gia, no dash and no space between them, and then you can register to become a new reporter. Anyone has successfully registered? I think if you have, could you raise your hands? And if you are following us live stream, if you successfully log in, just drop a heart and we will know. So there are only 2 steps before you can become a new reporter, and then you can enjoy 8,500 U reporters in Vietnam and 15.7 million U reporters globally. So when you become a U reporter, you will receive constant updates concerning key topics of interest for young people, and some key issues we survey include climate change, COVID-19 endemic, the vaccination program, the skills for the 21st century, and issue concerning mental health. And we always want to develop the best content based on the key issues of concern of the society, and that's why we conducted a surveys on the youth law 2020 to collect the youth perspectives on the current youth law. So without further delay, now please join us to follow a short video on the key findings of the surveys.
Nhân ngày Quốc tế Thanh niên năm 2021, U-Report Việt Nam đã thực hiện một cuộc khảo sát về luật thanh niên 2020 từ ngày 24 đến ngày 29 tháng 7 năm 2021 để tìm hiểu nhận thức của các bạn tham gia U-Report hay còn gọi là U-Reporters về luật thanh niên hiện hành cũng như những vấn đề mà các bạn ấy quan tâm. Sau gần một tuần, U-Report đã ghi nhận được số lượng 449 thanh thiếu niên tham gia khảo sát, thu về 5.186 câu trả lời. Trong đó có 75% người tham gia thuộc độ tuổi từ 16 đến 24, 72% sống tại thành phố và thị trấn, thị xã, trong khi 25% còn lại sống ở làng quê và các vùng sâu vùng xa, khu vực miền núi. 72% là nữ, 4% là thanh niên dân tộc thiểu số và 1% là thanh niên khuyết tật. Chúng ta hãy cùng đi vào chi tiết hơn về nội dung của khảo sát này nhé. Bạn đã từng nghe đến luật thanh niên chưa?
Mình chưa từng nghe.
Mình đã nghe qua.
Em đã từng nghe.
Mình chưa biết gì nhiều.
Mình đã từng tìm hiểu qua.
Mình đã từng nghe.
Mình biết khá là rõ luật này.
Theo thực tế khảo sát, chỉ 26% người tham gia trả lời đã từng nghe đến luật thanh niên. Trong đó, 49% U-Reporters đánh giá mình có kiến thức trên trung bình về luật này. 69% chia sẻ luật thanh niên quan trọng đối với họ.
Là một thanh niên dân tộc thiểu số, mình cảm thấy luật thanh niên có vai trò rất quan trọng đối với mình vì nó giúp cho mình hiểu và nắm được các quyền, nghĩa vụ và trách nhiệm của bản thân.
Bên cạnh đó, luật thanh niên cũng là một cơ sở để thanh niên có thể phát triển tốt hơn tất cả các tiềm năng và khả năng của mình, làm sao để có thể đóng góp tốt nhất cho xã hội.
Tuy nhiên thì mình nhận thấy rằng luật thanh niên 2020 chưa đề cập tới nhóm thanh niên khuyết tật cũng như là chưa có những cái quy định nhằm đảm bảo việc tiếp cận quyền, thúc đẩy sự tham gia và tăng cường sự hòa nhập cho nhóm thanh niên khuyết tật.
Khi được hỏi liệu bạn có đang nhận được đủ thông tin và các cập nhật về luật thanh niên 2020 thông qua các kênh truyền thông không, thì câu trả lời không hoặc không biết chiếm 62%. Điều này cũng cho thấy sự cần thiết và nhiều những nỗ lực hơn nữa để luật thanh niên được phổ biến rộng rãi đến tất cả thanh niên Việt Nam. 48% các bạn thanh niên cho rằng tiếng nói và hành động của mình có tác động đến việc ra quyết định chính sách và chiến lược có liên quan đến thanh niên, đóng góp vào sự phát triển đất nước nhằm đạt được các mục tiêu phát triển bền vững. Chắc chắn rằng với một môi trường càng được tạo điều kiện thuận lợi, sẽ càng có nhiều các bạn trẻ tự tin và tham gia nhiều hơn vào công cuộc này.
Theo mình, sẽ rất hữu ích nếu có các quyển cẩm nang, sổ tay nhỏ, các video tuyên truyền về luật thanh niên cho các bạn thanh niên dân tộc thiểu số, đặc biệt là bằng chính ngôn ngữ của họ.
Mình mong các trường đại học sẽ tổ chức thêm nhiều các hoạt động cho thanh niên làm chủ về các hoạt động như là sáng tạo, khởi nghiệp, đổi mới kinh doanh, đặc biệt là trong thời đại 4.0 như hiện nay.
Mình cũng mong đợi rằng trong thời gian tới sẽ có những chính sách dành cho nhóm thanh niên khuyết tật, và những thanh niên khuyết tật sẽ được tham vấn về những vấn đề và rào cản mà họ gặp phải để đảm bảo những quy định của pháp luật sẽ thiết thực và phù hợp cho nhóm thanh niên này, trong đó có chính bản thân mình.
Cá nhân mình cho rằng các cơ quan, tổ chức và cá nhân trong xã hội cần tận dụng tốt cơ chế đối thoại với thanh niên trong luật thanh niên để có thể lắng nghe tốt hơn tiếng nói, ý kiến, nguyện vọng cũng như những phản hồi của thanh niên trong quá trình thực hiện luật.
Cần phát huy hơn vai trò của gia đình, nâng cao hơn cho con cháu của mình nhận thức về sức mạnh của thanh niên, nhận thức được về tầm quan trọng của thanh niên, để từ đó họ có những cái ý chí phấn đấu và có nguồn động lực to lớn để luôn cố gắng phấn đấu hết mình, nhiệt huyết, năng động, sáng tạo, có thể góp phần vào sự phát triển chung của toàn xã hội.
Đó là một số kết quả nổi bật của khảo sát luật thanh niên năm 2020 mà YouReport đã tổng hợp được. Bạn hãy quét mã QR code này để đọc thêm về báo cáo kết quả chi tiết nhé!
Thanh niên Việt Nam sẵn sàng!
As you have seen, your report has collected lots of feedbacks from the young people, and even at the moment, your voice is being listened to by government agencies and stakeholders. And with such an important tool, we hope that more people will join YouReports to ensure that the community of reporters, YouReporters in Vietnam will continue to grow. I'm sure there will be more surveys, more games provided to you on YouReport, and I look forward to your participation. Let's follow us on our Facebook page, and thank you. Thank you very much, Đỗ Mỹ Linh. So according to the YouReport survey, 69% of young people who respond says that the youth law is important, but only 20% says that they have heard of the revised youth law. So in order to understand the importance of the law and bring it to the young people, so the Central Communist Youth Union promulgated the Plan 306 about the dissemination of the youth law to all local and provincial branches. 3 dissemination workshops was held in the north, central and southern region, and thousands of thematic meetings on the youth law have been organized by the Youth Union, and we hope that this event will help us understand better about this very important law. And ladies and gentlemen, in June 2020, the National Assembly approved the revised youth law, replacing the youth law 2005. The new youth law, effective since January 2021, emphasized particularly the role of the young people in national development. Now, may I invite Madame Lương Hải Anh from the Department of Youth Affairs, the Ministry of Home Affairs, to have a presentation on the key issue in the youth law. Madam Naomi Chahara, UNFPA representative to Vietnam, Mr. Nguyễn Trường Lâm, secretary to the Ho Chi Minh Youth Union, and distinguished guests who are here and online. So as authorized under the permission of Ministry of Home Affairs, I'm pleased to be here to share with you about the key findings of the revised youth law. I think from the beginning of the ceremony, we have been told that young people is a very important force with tremendous contribution to national development, and the roles and the features of the young people and the contribution of the young people to national development has been recognized by the resolution of the parties for a long time, and the resolution of the party also identify important policy focuses to promote the development of the young people. And as you know, in June 2020, the National Assembly promulgated the revised Youth Law 2020, replacing the previous law promulgated in 2005. The new youth law has 7 chapters and 41 articles regulating key policies for the youth. And there are very specific regulations and issues concerning the young people, the responsibilities of the society, of the ministries in supporting the young people. There's 7 chapters. The first chapter identify the key regulations, how to develop the young people. Second chapter focus on the responsibilities of young people. Chapter 3 on the policies for the youth. Chapter 4 on the responsibilities of the United Front, international organization and other social organization and family. And the next chapter on state governance on the youth. So what are the specific regulations? So in the first chapter, the law reaffirms that the young people are those between 16 and 30, and the youth law reaffirms the rights and the duties of the young people, emphasizing particularly that young people has a strong contribution to the society, who are creative, who are pioneers and active. And young people have a powerful role in social and economic development and national development. And particularly as we aims for SDG achievements and the process of national modernization. And there's one article emphasizing this particularly. The youth law also re-emphasize that young people is a full citizens in accordance with the Constitution. So any young people who are Vietnamese citizens, we have the same rights and responsibility irrespective of our ethnic background, religious background, and gender. And to promote the role of the young people and the meaningful participation of the young people, the youth law dedicate a chapter to set out the responsibilities of young people to themselves, to the family, to the community, and to the state. And as Madam Naomi Kitahara explained in the 2020 youth law, there's one key new point, which identify the budget allocation, the resources to be allocated to the implementation of the youth policies. The resources will be mobilized from the state budget as well as from other sources. And the youth law also identify March as the month of youth, and this important policy emphasizing the responsibility of different stakeholders to listen to the voices of the young people, as Ling from UNICEF just explained to you. Now we have a regulation on youth dialogue as a channel for young people to express their voices, their concerns via the Youth Union and via other ministries and other channels, so as they can convey their voices to different agencies and ministries to ensure that their rights and responsibilities are heard and honored. And so now allow me to explain a bit about the duties of young people. It doesn't mean that we place a burden on them. It means that young people have both rights and responsibilities, and the policy are set out so that young people can promote an active and responsible contribution to national development. And as you can see on the previous videos, the young people can contribute creatively and responsibly in so many ways, in science and technology, in the fight against the COVID-19. In the fight against the COVID-19, young people participate in our efforts in a very responsible way. And of course, young people have the responsibilities for themselves to make sure that they improve themselves, they train themselves, they pursue further studies so that they can contribute to national development sufficiently. And another issue, another chapter in the youth law, which is the policies to promote the contribution of the young people, focusing on education, research, employment, and how to create an environment, a start-up environment for the young people. And in addition, there are also policy concerning healthcare, cultural development, cultural participation, sports. And in the current youth laws, there are regulations for volunteers, youth vanguards, young talents, and for those from 16 to 18. And of course, we also have other laws that provide for the support to young people. For example, the law on people with disabilities and law on gender equality. And as Mr. Lam just shared with you, the Prime Minister has issued the youth strategies, the National Youth Strategy, and the strategy also clarify important articles in the youth law to ensure that every young people across the country can gain access to the rightful entitlements, the young people who are poor, who are ethnic minorities. So how can we make sure that young people can access their entitlements and rights? So the state identified the responsibilities of organizations. So allow me to focus on the key groups. The first are the responsibilities of youth organization, the Communist Youth Union, the Youth Federation, and the Student Union. These are the organizations that are responsible for uniting the young people and promote the role of the young people. And then we also, these organizations, when conduct surveys on the needs of young people so that we can get them involved in community-based activities. And then also policies to promote the contribution of youth-based organizations such as the Youth Union, how to make sure that the Youth Union can be a gathering point for young people. The youth law also set out the responsibility of the Fatherland Front, economic and social organization, the responsibilities to work with each other to ensure that a good environment is provided for young people to work, to learn, to study, to find job, and to have access to entertainment. And the Fatherland Front and other organizations will support the Communist Youth Union and Youth Federation in protecting the rights and fostering the responsibility of the young people. And another point, which is the responsibilities of families and educational organizations, to ensure that young people can have the opportunity to learn, to fulfill their potential. It's also important to note that there's a National Committee on Vietnamese Youth, which is the advisory agency to the government as for how we can best develop the young people. And finally, in the youth law identify the responsibilities of state governments and what state governments means, and also which agency is responsible for this. So the government assign Ministry of Home Affairs as the lead agency, the state management agency on youth affairs, and ministries and people's committee in different levels are also responsible for supporting the young people and developing the plans to do so. So I think I just give you a very quick summary of the youth law. This is a very quick sketch of the key issues that I hope will contribute to help you better understand the new law. Thank you, Madam Lương Hải Anh from Ministries of Home Affairs. Why this law is so important. How about the youth law as perceived by the young people themselves? Let's follow a very quick clip.
Kiến tạo một tương lai bền vững cho chính bạn, cho cộng đồng và cả đất nước thật sự là một thách thức to lớn.
Chậm trễ và bất bình đẳng trong việc tiếp cận vaccine, bạo lực vẫn đang là một vấn nạn nhức nhối trong kéo dài. Lại có một người chết vì bệnh tim mạch, chiến tranh, nghèo đói.
Bạn luôn muốn đóng góp cho cộng đồng, luôn hy vọng ý kiến của mình và những người xung quanh được thấu hiểu. Nhưng bạn luôn phân vân, không biết mình có được phép hoặc nên bắt đầu từ đâu. Hàng triệu thanh niên Việt Nam trẻ tuổi như bạn đủ sức giúp đất nước đạt được những mục tiêu phát triển bền vững và đủ nhiệt huyết để chung tay kiến tạo một tương lai tươi sáng hơn cho xã hội. Chính vì lý do đó, tại Quốc hội khóa 14 vào tháng 6 năm 2020, Việt Nam đã thông qua luật thanh niên với mong muốn đề cao vai trò của thế hệ trẻ trong việc đổi mới, kiến tạo và hiện đại hóa công cuộc phát triển đất nước. Luật quy định các quyền của thanh niên trong độ tuổi từ 16 đến 30 như quyền được công nhận, tôn trọng và bảo vệ, bất kể dân tộc, giới tính, tầng lớp xã hội, tôn giáo, trình độ học vấn hay nghề nghiệp. Đồng thời, chính phủ và các tổ chức thanh niên, tổ chức xã hội, tổ chức giáo dục, gia đình và các cá nhân cũng có trách nhiệm cùng nhau hợp tác, tạo nên một môi trường thuận lợi để người trẻ Việt Nam thực hiện các quyền của họ. Luật thanh niên bao gồm các chính sách hỗ trợ thanh niên trong học tập, làm việc, khởi nghiệp, chăm sóc sức khỏe, văn hóa và thể thao, đặc biệt hỗ trợ thanh thiếu niên dân tộc thiểu số và thanh thiếu niên từ 16 đến 18 tuổi. Luật còn hợp pháp hóa sự tham gia của thanh niên trong các lĩnh vực như giáo dục và nghiên cứu khoa học, từ đó tạo không gian cũng như cơ hội để các bạn đóng góp tích cực cho những vấn đề quốc gia quan trọng nhất. Đây cũng chính là nền tảng cho sự hợp tác quốc tế trong các công tác thanh niên. Luật còn nêu rõ trách nhiệm của chính phủ, Ủy ban Quốc gia về thanh niên, các tổ chức thanh niên và các tổ chức khác đối với việc ủng hộ quyền của người trẻ. Đồng thời, luật đảm bảo nguồn tài chính, trong đó có các nguồn đến từ ngân sách nhà nước cho việc thi hành luật thanh niên. Tháng 3 đã được chọn là tháng thanh niên nhằm cổ động, phát huy tinh thần tình nguyện, đổi mới sáng tạo của người trẻ thông qua việc tham gia các hoạt động cho lợi ích cộng đồng, song song với huy động sự đầu tư của các tổ chức, cá nhân cho tương lai thanh niên. Và hơn hết, luật thanh niên nêu rõ Thủ tướng Chính phủ và Chủ tịch Ủy ban Nhân dân các cấp có trách nhiệm tổ chức đối thoại ít nhất một lần với thanh niên trong một năm về các vấn đề liên quan đến thanh niên. Điều này giúp các cấp lãnh đạo lắng nghe và có thể thấu hiểu sâu sắc hơn về quan điểm của thanh niên trong quá trình quyết định và hoạch định chính sách, tạo điều kiện giúp thế hệ trẻ được tham gia một cách có ý nghĩa. Năng lượng, nhiệt huyết và nỗ lực không ngừng của các bạn là sức mạnh của Tổ quốc. Thế hệ trẻ Việt Nam, những người như bạn là nhân tố thiết yếu làm nên sự đổi mới, góp phần giúp Tổ quốc phát triển bền vững, kiên cường và đồng lòng với quyết tâm không bỏ quên bất kỳ ai.
Well, I think the clip helped us understand better the rights and responsibilities of the youth and who are the vulnerable young groups and the responsibilities of organization and the state to support them. We have a quick interview with young people to listen to their feedback on the youth law.
Tháng 3 hàng năm được chọn là tháng thanh niên. Việc luật hóa tháng thanh niên sẽ tạo điều kiện tốt hơn để tổ chức đoàn và thanh niên đóng góp sức trẻ, cống hiến nhiều hơn nữa đối với sự nghiệp phát triển kinh tế xã hội và bảo vệ tổ quốc. Đồng thời xác định cụ thể vai trò của chính phủ, của chính quyền các cấp trong việc tạo điều kiện hỗ trợ về cơ chế, về chính sách, về nguồn lực để hỗ trợ cho đoàn thanh niên cung cấp tổ chức tốt các hoạt động trong tháng thanh niên.
Luật thanh niên năm 2020 cũng có ý nghĩa hết sức quan trọng trong việc khuyến khích, động viên thanh niên trong học tập, sáng tạo, nghiên cứu khoa học và công nghệ. Bản thân em rất phấn khởi khi quy định nhà nước có chính sách phát hiện, đào tạo, bồi dưỡng, thu hút và trọng dụng và đãi ngộ đối với các thanh niên có tài năng. Qua đó, các tài năng trẻ sẽ có cơ hội, điều kiện đóng góp trực tiếp và gián tiếp cho sự phát triển của đất nước.
Luật thanh niên 2020 có điều khoản riêng về chính sách của nhà nước đối với lĩnh vực khởi nghiệp, có ý nghĩa đặc biệt vô cùng quan trọng khi khuyến khích và tạo môi trường thuận lợi để cho thanh niên khởi nghiệp sáng tạo, ứng dụng khoa học và công nghệ. Bên cạnh đó thì việc nhà nước ưu đãi hỗ trợ các cá nhân tham gia cung ứng dịch vụ cho thanh niên khởi nghiệp, cũng như là khuyến khích các quỹ thành lập, mục đích là để thành lập các quỹ hỗ trợ cho thanh niên theo quy định của pháp luật. Đó cũng như là một cái xung lực mạnh mẽ hơn nữa cho bước chân khởi nghiệp của Việt Nam. Cộng đồng thanh niên khởi nghiệp của Việt Nam thì sẽ yên tâm hơn, gọi là nỗ lực hơn nữa để có thể là khởi nghiệp thành công, góp phần xây dựng cho Việt Nam trở thành một quốc gia khởi nghiệp.
Tôi đánh giá cao khi luật đã có những quy định rằng thanh niên hoàn thành nghĩa vụ quân sự, nghĩa vụ tham gia công an nhân dân được hưởng chính sách hỗ trợ đào tạo nghề và các chính sách ưu đãi khác do quy định của pháp luật. Điều này đã góp phần động viên cho thanh niên xung phong bảo vệ Tổ quốc và chung tay xây dựng nền quốc phòng an ninh toàn dân.
Được biết là cái điều 23 luật thanh niên 2020 đã có những cái quy định chi tiết về chính sách đối với thanh niên tình nguyện. Thì tôi rất là thích cái chính sách nhằm tạo lập các cái kênh thông tin cũng như là tạo ra những cái hoạt động xã hội tình nguyện để giúp cho các bạn thanh niên có những cái chương trình tình nguyện cũng như là những cái mô hình đã được kiểm chứng hiệu quả để có thể làm theo.
So before we connect with important young figures, so let's have an entertainment with a magician's clip.
Anh bạn lâu lắm không gặp. Anh khỏe chứ?
Hello.
Rất khỏe ạ.
You?
Anh có biết tôi đang cầm gì được không?
Do you know
Đây
what
là
I'm
6 chủ
holding
đề
in
khác
my
nhau.
hands?
Từ 6 màn ảo thuật tôi
topics.
muốn cho anh thấy ngày hôm nay.
So there are
Nhưng mà hôm nay
6
tôi sẽ không phải là người chọn.
performances, but today you will choose the theme. So say a number. So number 3. Any reason why you choose number 3? So that is my month of birth. So as you know, March is not our month of birth. It's also the youth month that help us to promote the spirit of volunteers and innovation community and to support the young people. And now let's show you some performances that are very much related to the youth. So I designed this performance. Have you heard of the 17 SDGs? I heard. So this is a special deck which shows all the SDGs targets, justice, institution, etc. What is your favorite goal? So let's pick one randomly. So place your hand anywhere. And could you show the audience? I don't know what it is, but could you show the audience? Now, you know that, right? So remember that. So remember what you have picked. Now I will pick the first one. I think you care about this. Healthcare for a good life, right? No, not the one I picked earlier. Now I skip this. Could you hold your hand here? Could you put your hand here? So now I hold another health card. Did you choose this one? Is this the one you choose? Now I will divide the deck into multiple parts, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. We have 8 parts representing the first 8 months of the year until now. There are many choices for you. You flip it. So you choose the cards on the 17 SDGs of Vietnam, and thank you for joining me on this performance. So very impressive performance. Now let's connect with young people representing a generation in what Madam Naomi called the time of demographic window of opportunity. Those who will connect to today are those who are fostering positive changes in many aspects of our lives, and they are willing to share their inspiring story with us to demonstrate that the young people who has the courage to act and speak out. At first, we will talk about an energetic young girl who always wants to inspire young people to contribute to fight climate change. Before we meet her, let's join me for a short video again. So in the world, we are facing very extreme weather situation with even more devastating situation, and for that, take action for this planet. So the clip showed a group of young people aiming towards a green life and environmental protection and the prevention of climate change. Now let's connect with Hoàng Ngọc Xuân Mai. Hello and good morning to all distinguished guests and young people participating in the ceremony. Hi Mai, what are you, could you explain to us about what you do and what you want to do in this clip? I'm Hoàng Ngọc Xuân Mai. So a bit about myself, and the clip shows our involvement in UNDP and United Nations youth consultation. So I'm among the 20 other young people who participate in the consultation process concerning environmental protection in Vietnam to come up with a report. And this is a copy of the report on the youth action for climate in Vietnam, one of the first that summarize the key actions of young people who are interested in environmental protection in Vietnam. So I get involved during the report drafting process and designing the key recommendation to foster the participation of young people in fighting climate change. And one of the key goals is to create a hub of information for the young people to learn about climate change and how to prevent it. And I'm working with UNDP Vietnam to develop this information hub, and I receive lots of support from experts to make sure the hub will be available and accessible as soon as possible. At the moment, I'm the head of the content group of the network of young people taking action for climate change in Vietnam and in Southeast Asia. We gather lots of young people specializing on press and journalism. Of course, the fight against climate change is not specified, it's not the responsibility of anyone. I'm sure that you have to overcome lots of challenges. When you talk to people, many people may feel that it's a bit distant. Do you think? So when I work with the young people, and many of them are actually very experienced in this field, and we do share our main concerns when young people work to fight against environmental change in terms of finance and how to connect to stakeholders, in terms of technologies. So for example, many young people do not know or do not have access to most effective communication or technological methods and tools. And finally, there was challenge regarding knowledge. And from my personal experience, I do I did encounter all of these challenges at different degree. So in the first year I am involved in this activity, so I did not have as much knowledge and skills as I should be. I'm not sure what kind of information I should talk to others, where to look for those information, how to prevent climate change. And there was moments when I feel very uncertain as to who I should speak to and whether people do share the same concern as I do. But I feel lucky that in the last 3 years, I now have access to a group of people who share the same concerns. And anytime I encounter challenges, I can seek support from others, and I can also provide support to new members, and together we can solve the problems. So I think that when young people are interested in a certain topic, climate change, for example, they can come up with so many wonderful initiatives and ideas and solutions. But the problem is that sometimes one has a solution but is unable to share that solution with others in other areas. And so it's so important we make sure that people can share their thoughts and initiative with one another. And that's what we're trying to do. So what has been the dynamic, the source of inspiration for you to overcome all the challenges, to create a network for yourself and call on others to take action? Well, I initially I have interest in journalism. Since I'm at high school, and then through my search through the journal and stuff, I really attracted to climate change, because I realized that climate change can have a tremendous impact on our lives today, but also in the future. And from that point, I started learning more about climate change, and I realized that this is a tremendous issue. As I think you heard that recently the IPCC, the Intergovernmental Agency on Climate Change, issued the 6th report to disseminate scientific reports on climate change, and there is a clear message, which is that human activities cause global warming in the atmosphere, in the earth, and in the ocean. And it's very clear that young people should take stronger actions, because climate change does not wait for us. But at the same time, apart from the concerns or anxieties, there's also positive impetus. For young people, normally we are very enthusiastic about engaging with challenges and coming up with innovative solutions. So for example, myself, I want to face challenges, and I want to be able to come up with a solution for the challenges. I'm very much motivated by that. So determination, creativity definitely will combine and create success. So when you come to this ceremony, is there any message that you want to share with the young people concerning climate change, or anything concerning national development that you want to contribute? My message is that you are never too young to do something substantial for the community, for those around you, and of course to do something magnificent and substantial, a contribution to SDG, for example. I've been working with many groups of people. Sometimes I lack the confidence, but when I look around, there's so many role models for me to follow. Many young people my age or even younger in Vietnam and even in the world or even in history, there's so many examples of young people who actually made an enormous contribution to the country. So thank you, Xuân Mai. She reminds us of the COP26 that will be organized in the UK next October. So thank you, Xuân Mai, for sharing with us. As you know, the COP26 message will be held in the UK in October, and the message is that uniting the world to fight against climate change. And now let's connect with another. Ladies and gentlemen, young people is a powerful resource of the country, and the explosion of technology in 21st century helped our lives easier, and very much thanks to the contribution of the young people, including the young women. And women are normally expected not to be as active in technology as men, but nowadays this has changed. Let's talk to Dr. Đoàn Trịnh Nhã Khanh. Hello, and thank you for the opportunity to connect the young people participating in the ceremony on the International Youth Day. About myself, I'm Đoàn Trịnh Nhã Khanh, pediatrician, and working at the IE Health and technological apps that help to connect patients with doctors and other health services, for example, at-home care. I'm pleased to share with you how I start AI Health and how we use technology to reduce the gap between patient and doctors. So imagine you have a health problems and you require a professional medical advice, but you're living in a mountainous area, and it would be very costly and difficult for you to go to city to see the leading doctors. And so, because I understand the challenge that many have faced, and I, together with a group of colleagues, to develop the IA Health apps. As a startup apps, as you know, this is very much a startup, a tech startup that we are doing, comprising mostly young doctors. So we know about medical knowledge, but we do not know a lot about technologies. But then we determine that there's nothing we cannot do. And there's always challenges, but the important is the determination. So initially we face many challenges. We are young, as you know, and we need support in terms of technologies, which is normally believed to be the field of men rather than women. And we are under the pressure to improve their apps and provide new features almost every week, and to support the patient. And at the same time, I have to work at my hospital. And I'm grateful that I receive lots of support and advice from my colleague in my company. So at the moment, the app has been well received, particularly during the time of COVID-19 and social distancing. The IE Health provide a link between patient and doctor. They don't have to leave their home. but the doctors can provide prescriptions to the patients, and also to advise on how to conduct a medical examination at home, even COVID tests at home. So what we're doing is that using technology, we can empower ourselves and empower others. And I think definitely there will be more to do, even bigger challenges ahead, but it requires innovation, and we are confident that we and the young people, the young women, can do that. With suitable technologies and innovation, we young women can overcome any limits. And as you know, I'm a doctor, a female doctors. We have been working on efforts to fight against COVID-19 for 2 years. I used to work at a COVID hospital in Cần Giờ. At the moment, I'm joining the vaccination program in Đức Hòa, Long An, one of the areas very severely hit by the COVID-19. And building on my experiences, I want to share with you a message that you should improve your skills, your capacity, and then you can contribute to fight the endemic. And apart from what I just shared, I think it would be helpful if you can see a video about what women can do when they are in power. So, very interesting thoughts that H'Hen has shared with us. I know it's very challenging. You have to run a company, IA Health, and participate in COVID-19 prevention efforts. And I hope that H'Hen can share more with us about your current work in Long An. So after Ho Chi Minh City, you know that Long An is among provinces severely hit by COVID-19 in Long An. So I lead a group of 27 doctors to vaccinate the local population. So we're reaching the end of our campaign. The community cases, the number has declined, and many F0, they have received a vaccine, and we see that the symptoms are mild and there are fewer risks of they spreading the virus to others. So my message is that have vaccines as soon as you can. And we have high hope that the endemic will be over soon. We can live with the virus if we follow the 5K distancing, wearing masks, disinfections. Thank you very much. Now let's watch a short clip now.
Những gì đã từng chỉ là một tia lửa, giờ đã trở thành một ngọn lửa, một sức mạnh đang lướt qua toàn cầu. Chúng tôi là những người đổi mới sáng tạo, nghệ sĩ, cố vấn, nhà khoa học. Chúng tôi đang đứng dậy và lên tiếng.
We're standing up to raise the voice in schools, on the streets, and online. Young women in technological fields are opening new doors. We are defying prejudices and limits, creating creative solutions for the future to connect, to create, to be heard, to become the agent of change. With the Girls Empowerment Initiative, we are enhancing digital skills to fulfill and promote our potential. We are designing apps to break barriers and taboos. We are using AI to end violence. And we are narrowing the digital gap. We are supporting each other, helping each other, empowering each other, ourselves and others. 600 million young female persons in the world. Imagine what we can do with suitable technologies. The technologies are ours, the time is ours. Join us. Now back to our conversation with Nhã Khanh. What do you think of the impact of COVID-19 on technology? And I think COVID-19 creates both opportunity and challenges. In the time of social distancing, people have to adapt to new technologies. So it's the time when technology and health technology can have the opportunity to be disseminated to people faster. My apologies that the sound has been lost. My apologies, I'm unable to hear anything from Dr. Khanh. Nhã Khanh, my apologies. Hi, Khanh, can you hear us from Hà Nội? We are unable to hear you. Could you repeat what you just said in the last few minutes? Could you check your Wi-Fi or 4G system? Everything's still fine? So maybe there's some technical issue. So we are sorry, but we have to see Nhã Khanh again at the end of this program. Well, with suitable technologies and innovation, young women can do anything. That's the message. Now let's join us to connect with another young person. Could you show the clip on the special class, the special classroom?
Đây là những hình ảnh trong lớp học đặc biệt dành cho các em câm điếc tại trường chuyên biệt Vi Nhân, thành phố Buôn Mê Thuột, tỉnh Đắk Lắk. Lớp học với nội dung phòng chống quấy rối tình dục. Không lời nói. Tất cả đều tương tác với nhau qua ngôn ngữ cơ thể và ngôn ngữ ký hiệu. Em Nguyễn Thị Trà My, thôn 7, xã Ia Quách, huyện Cư Mờ Ga, Đắk Lắk, là học sinh khiếm thính. Mặc dù đã bước sang tuổi 14, lứa tuổi dậy thì, nhưng chưa bao giờ em được tiếp cận với những thông tin về sức khỏe sinh sản và cách phòng chống quấy rối tình dục. Lúc còn nhỏ, em cũng giống các bạn gái khác. Khi lớn lên, em thấy cơ thể có những sự thay đổi. Em lo lắng lắm. Em cũng hỏi ba mẹ và nhờ sự hỗ trợ từ phía người lớn trong gia đình để thích ứng với những thay đổi đó. Hôm nay đến đây em vui lắm. Có được nhiều thông tin tốt. Em mong sẽ có nhiều buổi học như thế này về chủ đề sức khỏe sinh sản.
Năm nay là cháu là 14 tuổi đó. Cũng đến cái tuổi là lớn cho nên là mẹ cũng đến cái tuổi tâm lý á, rất là nặng nề. Nói chung là một người mẹ chứ mà vẫn lo lắng cho con. Nói chung nếu mà nó được hoàn hảo á, như những người khác á, thì là mẹ không lo. Nhưng mà giờ như vậy như là mẹ cũng rất hơi lo. Nói chung cái tâm lý của người làm người mẹ á, nói chung là không có thể hiểu được con. Mà nhiều lúc con nói ra đó, mẹ cũng có thể chia sẻ được. Rất là nặng nề với cái tâm lý. Cho nên mong nói chung là nhà trường, các cô thì mọi người là có thể giúp được cho cháu được tiếp xúc trong những cái thời gian mà cháu khi lớn lên.
Trường chuyên biệt Vi Nhân, thành phố Buôn Mê Thuột hiện có 187 em đang học tập và sinh sống, thì có đến 70 em là câm điếc, với 1/3 em là ở lứa tuổi dậy thì. Việc tiếp cận với những thông tin về sức khỏe sinh sản, sức khỏe tình dục là điều vô cùng khó khăn. Vì vậy, những hoạt động truyền thông về sức khỏe sinh sản, sức khỏe tình dục của nhóm dự án Hành trình không lời dành cho người câm điếc là một hoạt động vô cùng ý nghĩa.
So we have seen a video on a special classroom for young people with hearing and speech impairment. In Đắk Lắk, the classroom provide them with knowledge on sexual and reproductive health. Now let's connect with Nguyễn Việt Cường, who has contributed a lot to this project, the project entitled The Journey Without Words. About Cường, he's a person with hearing impairment himself. Let's connect with Cường. Good morning, Cường. Can you see us well from here? It's okay. Cường, could you introduce yourself and about the classroom that you has been running? Good morning. I'm Cường. At the moment, I'm living in Đắk Lắk. Our apologies. We have some further technical issue. Please be patient with us for a few minutes as the technical team sorts out the problem. Cường, can you introduce yourself and talk a bit about your classroom? So I talk about myself. Now let me talk about the classroom. People with hearing impairment in Đắk Lắk has been facing lots of challenges in their lives. Many of them do not have the opportunity to go out and access information on sexual and reproductive health. And besides, they also have problems when they apply for jobs. And they also suffer discrimination in other aspects of their lives. And in the family, many suffer from domestic violence. So because they do not aware of that fact, and many women and children who have hearing impairment, they suffer from also child abuse and sexual violence. I listen to their stories, and many of them do not have any idea about sexual and reproductive rights and health. And many young people with hearing impairment, they face sexual harassment, domestic violence, and even child marriage. They have to get married from a very young age. And the young girls, they are forced to stay at home by their parents. They cannot go to school nor go to work. And they have not received sufficient support from the local governments, and we do not have enough interpreters, the body and sign language interpreters, to help us and we don't have a room for the classroom in general. In terms of communications, we do not have access to video clips, which is the tools that we use to teach the students. And in the school, our students, they do not have the opportunity to learn sign languages. And it's very difficult for them to understand concepts such as sexual and reproductive health. And when they have to go to hospital, so normally they do not have a sign or body language interpreter with them. And the majority of them do not have the opportunity to participate in classes or courses on sexual and reproductive health. And for that reason, I work with the project team to open a class on sexual and reproductive health for people with hearing impairment. So with all the challenges that you have encountered, how do you manage to overcome the challenges? And I'm wondering also how you can encourage a student to participate in the class. As I'm trying to explain, apart from the challenges, we also receive support, particularly from the project. So we learn about sexual and reproductive health, the team, and we know how to communicate the knowledge to the people with hearing impairment using videos and with the support from body language interpreters. So the project was funded by UNFPA, and after we receive training from the project, we can transfer the knowledge to other people with hearing impairment. And when the students join the class and then they watch the video, they're so happy about it and they learn very quickly. And because we produce video clips with both subtitles and body language interpretation, it's very easy for them to understand. And then they even share their knowledge with other people with hearing impairment. And the students, they raise lots of questions for us on relevant topics. And throughout the process, we receive lots of support from the project managers. However, some students, they're from remote region, they're unable to go to the class. So definitely we need further support for these vulnerable groups, right? So I'm wondering, Kuang, in your view, should we expand this model of the classroom? And if we do, what kind of further support that you require from local government and local communities? Definitely. I think we must have more classes of this kind. And we really need the support from local governments. We want to receive support in terms of where we can hold the class. And if we want to open a class, we need local government to provide the venue for us to teach the students in that particular area. And we also need body language interpreters to help us to communicate with the students. And we also hope that the communications products, for example, videos will be included with subtitles and body language interpreters in the far right corner. We also hope that some doctor will learn some basic about body language and sign language so that they can understand the people with hearing and speech impairment when they seek medical help. Of course, it's best if we can use an interpreter, but otherwise it would be better if doctors know something about body and sign language. And I want to convey a message, which is that it's important that we promote the right to reproductions of the people with hearing impairment. And nobody should be left behind. Thank you for listening to me. Thank you very much, Cuong, and I hope that your wishes will be fulfilled. There will be donors and philanthropists and the community to help you fulfill your ambitions to organize more classes. So if we have active thinking, then no matter how many challenges we encounter, we can create positive changes. Now let's follow me to watch another clip.
Hello mọi người, mình là thành viên của nhóm tư vấn thanh niên Liên Hợp Quốc Youth Advisory
Hello,
Group.
I'm members
Bây giờ
of the
hãy để cho mình
Youth
kể sơ về
Advisory
yêu cầu của bọn mình cho mọi người cùng nghe nhé.
group.
Suốt 3 năm qua,
In the last 3 years, we have been working to connect young people more with policy making process. We strive to learn, to share experiences with policy makers, with law experts, social activists.
bên cạnh đó, bọn mình cũng rất nỗ lực tham gia.
We also work with members of parliament to discuss about the role of young people in the hope that we can contribute the voices of the young people to the revised youth law. I'm very impressed when I work with this group. They are very much an independent youth-based group who are able to contribute very positive and useful policy recommendations. They come from very different backgrounds, but their perspectives are diverse and comprehensive and really reflect the perspective of young people from a different perspective.
Involved in the youth law-making process. Ultimately, the youth will highly impact their lives, and with the involvement of youth subgroups coming from different socio-economic backgrounds, lawmakers will get a more holistic understanding of their realities, the challenges that they face in Vietnam in particular, based on which they can better protect, promote, and fulfill the rights of all young people in all their diversity. In addition, also provide equal opportunities for all of them to reach their full potential.
So the young people, when we contribute our voices and the voices are heard, then we will feel more motivated to contribute our views even more. Indeed, young people can contribute in so many aspects in social and economic development, and through that process they will be more experienced, more skilled in the policy making advisory process. I'm very impressed by what the young people can do. They can work in groups, they can come up with the innovative ideas, and they can work as a team. So we are a group that seek to connect with young people across the country, including ethnic minorities. Reliable, creative, sharing, empowerment, diverse, integrated, active, committed, and conveying the passions and enthusiasm of young people. In the last 3 years, we have been working with many young people and contributing to bring their voices into the revised youth law. This is the result of the dedication of team members and the support from the wider community. We strongly believe that YAG and our journey will continue. We just listened to a clip by the YAG group. Now let's talk with a key member, Vũ Văn An, the secretary of the group. Thank you, and good morning to all distinguished guests. I'm Vũ Văn An. At the moment, I'm the secretary of the Youth Advisory Group. The group was established in 2018 under the sponsorship of United Nations and the Youth Union. So our mission, what we have done is to support policymakers and lawmakers in the revision of the youth law to make sure that the law can reflect the interests and the voice of the young people. We also support the drafting team in collecting feedback on decrees, on the youth development strategies. So that's basically what we have done, but in details, there's so many tasks that we have accomplished. Originally, it is very difficult for us to do the consultation workshop. We have to be trained in terms of lawmaking, policy promulgation. We receive particularly strong support from UNFPA, and then we can do our job. We collect information, data concerning the young people. We examine youth law from other countries, and we also design work and homework to distribute to young people and collect their feedback. And we want to collect their voice, the ordinary voice, and then we have to convert the voices into a language acceptable to policymakers. Some recommendations have been incorporated in the revised youth law. Congratulations to the achievements you and your group have made so far. I'm curious, and I think others are also curious as well, which is that how you can bring your comments and recommendations to the policymakers, but how you convert policy into easy to understand languages for example, ethnic minority young people. How can you explain the complex terminologies to people in remote areas, for example? So this is a key concern, and it took us lots of time and efforts from the beginning. Originally, we give a draft of a law proposal to many young people, And then many of them found it difficult to understand the language. Even people in urban areas, but they do not know about the language of the law, and so they found very confusing. So the approach is that we have to change the approach, and there was an event, a consultation workshop in Buôn Ma Thuột in Đắk Lắk, and we worked with a group of young people to ask for their feedback on the revised youth law. We gave them the draft, and at the end of the session, and then there are two members, they're quite silent throughout the session, and they reply that we did not understand the language. And at that moment, I asked them that put aside the draft. Now say what you want in your own terms. What you want to do, what the government can help you. And these are the new questions that we use throughout the later meeting and session. So we switch the question, easy to understand to them, and then when we collect the feedback, we can convert what they say into a language intelligible to policymakers. So I think it's important that you use a simple question. What you want your future will be. But I presume that not every young people can immediately respond to your question. Yes, indeed. Not everyone can answer my question immediately. And sometimes we have to break down the question even into smaller ones. So, for example, into specific area, specific issue. So, for example, we ask, in your case, in your area, do you have any problem with going to school, with receiving information about the law? And do you have any difficulties finding information about the law, or when you work as a factory workers? And whether you have any difficulties accessing these areas. So we make the question more detailed. So for example, even members of the youth union, we also ask them very specific question. I know that you met young people from very different backgrounds and regions. What do you think of your work? And is there any message that you want to convey to all the young people from very different backgrounds that you have met? So I do not think that we are doing is a kind of a mission or course. It's a very small thing that we are doing. So we only want to convey the voices of young people to policymakers. And then, as you know, our strength is on our diversity. So our group comprises members from different backgrounds, and for that reason, so some specialize in law, some specialize in medical practice, and we bring our knowledge into the efforts of bridging, of connecting. And we don't think it's a big course or mission, but what we all share in the group is that we all want to achieve a better future for us and for other young people like us. And it's important that we help others to raise their voice. And so our message is that participating in policy making processes is important for every citizen and every young people. And our participation will determine how a policy is promulgated, whether a bridge is built, whether a young person can go to school. So arm yourself with skills, with activeness, with commitment. So we are alone is not enough. our group is not enough, but you should be the agents of your own and contribute more, work with us to have more advisory group like this, and then our voice will be better heard. So in sum, we can say that we join the hands to build policy and join our efforts to build the country. Thank you very much, Vu An, and I presume that all young people following us, they have very much similar dreams and they do want to raise their voice. We will see Vu An again at the end of the ceremony. Now let's watch another video clip. Well, I think you can realize who is in the clip. It's a beautiful Ede lady who is famous for the sentence, "I'm an ethnic minority girl supposed to get married at 14, but I choose education from zero. Now I'm here and I want to say that if I can do it, so can you." From the World Miss Universe 2018, her sentence inspired many young people. I remember back then there's many young people follow a movement which is to repeat her words, "I can do it and so can you." I'm talking about the Miss Universe Vietnam 2017 and the top 5 of the Miss Universe 2018, H'Hen Niê. Good morning to you. Thank you and good morning to distinguished guests and young people with good health and best wishes and peace to you during this very difficult time. Your story, an ethnic minority girl who defied child marriage and become a very active contributor to the society and very inspiring for Vietnam. What I want to share with you is you, but as a different person, as a volunteers. We know that Ho Chi Minh City is facing difficult times under the impact of the COVID-19. I know that H'Hen, you participate in community-based activity in lockdown areas. What activities left you with the biggest impression? Thank you for your question. During the time of social distancing in Ho Chi Minh City, I stay at home, so I don't feel too much energy left in me. But then I'm invited by the youth union in Ho Chi Minh City to participate in volunteer activity. I'm quite reluctant at first because I fear the pandemic, because everyone is asked to stay at home. But then I participate in the activities and I realized that I actually feel safe, and I can actually contribute something to people in need. For example, to support the morale of doctors in field hospital, or to support the ordinary people in vaccination campaign, to work with the youth union and other artists to cheer people up. So I'm very delighted that I can convey positive energy to people in need. And at the moment, I no longer feel I'm a Miss Universe, but I'm simply a young person who has to contribute what we have with the city and with the people. So as you can see, I participate very actively in many projects to deliver present to the people, and so I'm not just providing money, but I use my own strengths and physical efforts. I take care of everything from transporting stuff, carrying goods, and preparing the gift and distributing them to the people. At the moment, as you know, we don't have much volunteers. We cannot hire professional carrier services because of social distancing. So we have to do almost everything. But I feel happy for doing so. Understand that the city is in a very difficult time. And as we often say, the city is sick. And we are part of the city. We have to contribute something. We forget who we are. We forget that I am a Miss Universe, but to contribute everything I have. At the moment, that's exactly what I think. And if you want me to participate in your volunteer schemes, text me. I'm willing to contribute whatever I can. As you can see, the doctors and the nurses, they have contributed a lot. So I wear PPE when I met the doctors, and then I cry. The first time I wore a PPE, even now I feel really touched. Because when I put on the PPE, I realize how challenging it has always been for the doctors. Because the doctors have to wear the PPEs all the time. When I wore the PPE, I did not dare to go to the toilets or to drink waters. And I imagine how hard it has been for the doctors and nurses to wear the PPE all the time for months. And so I am happy to help them in whatever way I can in Ho Chi Minh City and of course elsewhere. I'm not sure, but I definitely think that everyone looking at you now can see the sincerity and energy in you. How do you manage to maintain such energy and determination? How do you find the determination to overcome all the challenges? Could you share with us how you find your personal motivation? I think I believe that only by action can we change. When I participated in the Miss Universe, I received lots of contradicting views. People talk a lot about my skin, my hair, but at the time I thought that I need the courage, the confidence, and targets to overcome. When I participated in the Miss Universe at the time, I planned to become a top 20. Back then, for a long time, Vietnam contestant had not made it to the top 20. Then I set that target to myself. I dedicate to it and dedicate everything I have to that goal. And then my thought at the time is that I have to change something, and let's put all my energy into it. And I did it. I think I got the luck to do that. And then it happened to me not just at the Miss Universe contest, but also in other situations. I put all I have to put on the positive energy I have into that. So my solution is to have a good target and dedicate everything I have into it, the passion, the dedication, and the confidence that I can make it. And that has been my source of inspiration all the time. And it's so important to keep yourself optimistic and positive. That's really something that you should try to sustain all the time, even when you encounter challenges. If you can store enough positive energy inside you, then even when in times of challenge, you can still find hope. And of course, I have to thank my family. The family is its own way besides me. My parents, they do not speak ordinary Vietnamese a lot. They do not follow social media, but they always give me encouragement to do the good things, to contribute something. And I think that's why I often absorb positive energy, even during social distancing. I try to keep myself motivated by watching inspirational movies and persons, the characters, the inspirational characters, the role model, the person who have contributed the most to fighting the pandemic across the globe and in Vietnam. So again, have a target, make yourself confident and energetic all the time. And I think it's important as well that the determination of young people is important, but the environment is equally important, right? So what do you think the government should do to support the young Vietnamese to contribute to the country? So for me, and I think the new youth law provides lots of support for the young people and very clear guidance and regulation as to how young people should be supported. I think the environment is there. Now it's up to the young people to do. We should have the responsibilities towards ourselves, the family, and the country. I think we are free to speak up, to pursue what we want to do, and we have the right to do so many things. And I think I now have the opportunities to become who I am today. So for example, without the support from the local area where I grown up, and then there wouldn't be me today. And then I can actually pursue my dream. So after I finished high school, because of the support and the environment provided to me, and then I could make it to university and then pursue my dream. I think every young people today have the same condition that I have, and even better, and we should make use of these opportunities. The opportunities are there, and it's our opportunity to grasp. Do you have any message from Ho Chi Minh City to Hanoi during the time of social distancing? Certainly. I think the most important things at the moment is that wherever we are, we should follow the 5K procedures, and we should understand about the COVID. We should take active action in learning about the COVID to protect ourselves, and make sure to keep yourself confident and energetic. If you are happy all the time, if you can find positive energy, so you will feel confident and active even in times of difficulties. And I wish you good health, peace, safety, and lots of luck in your lives. And from Hanoi, we wish you good health, and we wish that you contribute even more proactively in volunteers activities. Ladies and gentlemen, and those who are following us online, so let's connect with all the speakers that we met from the beginning, and each of them want to convey a message to you. So please help us connect with our speakers, the 5 speakers. Let's connect with Vũ Văn An first. Thank you. Before the end of the ceremony, our message is that let's try to be active, to be innovative, and become an active participant in political life and the policy making process, and be active and energetic. Thank you. And now let's connect with Mai Khanh. Khanh, is this okay? The connection, it's okay? I think you have the opportunity to say something more, to say what you were unable to share with us the last time. Khanh, could you check your microphone? Is this okay now? Thank you. So as you know, the COVID-19 brings Vietnam with both opportunity and challenges. As you know, because under the pressure of the COVID-19, people have to adapt to new technologies, and it gives more opportunity for technologies to develop. However, a big challenge that we encounter is that not everyone in Vietnam have a smartphone or internet access, particularly people in remote regions. This applies to education. So students in remote areas, they find it very difficult to continue their learning at home and online. So I think in the future, Vietnam can have more equal development, so that people everywhere, whether an ethnic minority child or a girl, can have access to the internet and equal learning opportunity. And so my message to you is that, so let's have a try with technologies and with innovation, and together we can break all barriers, and we can reduce the prejudice on girls and what we can do. I'm confident, surely, that if we have the support from technologies and innovation, women can fulfill their dreams, definitely. Thank you, Nhã Khanh, and now let's connect with H'Hen Niê again. So the message to young people is that whatever you are doing, you may have to deal with a different opinion and perspective, and sometimes you may feel discouraged. But my message to you, what I learned from my own experience, is that let's look forward, step forward, to keep moving. There will be many criticisms thrown at you, but look forward, keep moving forward with confidence, and let's keep moving all the time. Now let's connect with Việt Cường. Cường, could you share your message with us? So the message I want to convey is that the community of people with hearing this impairment will be empowered to get access to learning opportunity and to information, so that we won't be left behind. We have equal opportunity like everyone else in the society. And I hope that gender-based violence and sexual violence will be contained, will be eliminated, and people with hearing disability will no longer suffer from that. Cường, may I ask, have you ever worked with enterprises to find support for your projects? And when you work with enterprises, so you never work with enterprises, right? I never work with any enterprises to seek support from them. Because when I asked the question, one of the audience working online, he or she is asking more about your project. So I think, let me suggest that we will put you in connection with each other, so that maybe you can find more sources of support for your project. And now let's connect with the last speaker. So as the last speakers, my message to you and to the audience is that we have less than 10 years to fight the war with climate change. And in that context, the innovation and dedication of the young people are crucial to help us deal with the impact of climate change. And I hope that young people and others, please maintain your dedication and join us. Thank you very much. And once again, my thanks to all the speakers who have shared your thoughts and experiences with us on today's ceremony. Ladies and gentlemen, we have listened to the speakers, and particularly very energetic and confident young people. I think you can see and feel their commitment and dedication to the country and community. As you know, a year starts with spring and a life starts with the youth. And I hope that after this ceremony, young people will receive more strength and inspiration to overcome the challenges and to improve yourself. So this is the end of this ceremony of the celebration of the International Youth Day, entitled Youth Participation, the Power of Young People in SDG Achievement. Thank you for your attention.